Hey everybody, this is Cherokee Edwards from Cherokee Edwards Inspires, where we're going to have shows here to talk about life, to talk about what makes your life special, what makes it better, and everybody working together, because together everyone achieves more. Acronym for the word team. Stay tuned and let's get it on. All right, well, welcome everybody to the Cherokee Edwards Inspires podcast, and we got a special guest tonight. And I tell you what, we got my man Jay Coates.
What's up?
Jay Coates is from No Tack Talk. What's going on, man?
It's going good, man. I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me on, for sure.
Oh man, thanks for coming on, man. Thanks for coming
sir.
on. Well, you know, we're pretty close, so I just want to just jump in and let the listeners know a little bit about you, and let's talk about some of you're extremely ambitious, and I love that. You're a young dude coming up. You're doing your thing. You're doing a lot of motivation. Talk to us a little bit about No Tack Talk.
Well, I tell people all the time, No Tack Talk is originally for me, 100%. It's not for nobody else. You know, a lot of people, create platforms just to, get popular, whatever, and that's cool. You want to do that type of thing, but I did it for me because, the story is, I dream a lot. I dream every night. People, they're like, no, everybody dreams. No, I dream beginning, middle, and end.
You got the whole
movie. For real, like I have a plot. And so, it's still kind of crazy. It's still a dream. I might see Fast and Furious, whatever it is, but
right.
It's still like a whole story. Like it's beginning, middle, and end. And so, as you can imagine, every night is mentally taxing.
Right. Definitely.
So it is. And I wake up physically okay, but mentally drained. And so I had to find an outlet to just kind of get it out. And so I found that when I have a really good conversation, or obviously, when I'm working out, whatever, I might sleep very well. But when I had that general conversation about 2 hours, I said, man, I slept great last night.
Right.
And so I said, maybe I should just recruiters. I might as well do it for me.
Right.
And so I wanted to be able to have conversations with people about, the only rule I always say is just to have no tact, because we live in a world where everybody wants to be politically correct. Everybody wants to just sugarcoat stuff. And it's not like you being rude to nobody or nothing, but it's just let's get down to it.
Let's give it raw. Let's be raw with it.
Yeah. And so that's me kind of growing up, and my voice, growing up, I didn't really have. I didn't feel like I had a voice. I talked a lot, but was never really taken seriously because I was just kind of talking out the side of my neck, as they say. But I had some mentorship coming up, right? And they said you got to channel, all that good energy. And so that's kind of how I got started as far as the podcast. Ever since then, I've been sleeping better, and I've been noticing that people been affected by it. I'm just doing this for me, and it's cool. Nice little hobby, but it started to grow pretty well. And, people I hadn't talked to in years, like, hey, Jay, you blessed me, or hey, Jay, I get where you coming from. I'm glad somebody finally said it. Or just this kind of stuff like that, getting emails, and it just helps. It helped a lot. So I kept it going, started kind of pouring more into it, and it became what it is so far today.
So what inspired you basically? I know you got the vision. What are you looking to accomplish with the No Tack Talk?
I'm looking to now it's just recently, and it's like I said, it's been a growing thing, just like a podcast or anything. You start with the mics, whatever.
Right.
It's becoming a platform for me to just like we talked about earlier, motivational speaking, for salvation for people, and because people might go to a preacher or a deacon or the spiritual figure that wants to be, I always say, super holier than thou, and give them I get that. It's cool, right? But some people need to, hey, what's up, man? How you doing? Let's talk about God, and kind of just sit down and talk about it. So it's for that as well. And it's the hub. And I know you talked about that as well. A lot of people are using podcasts as a platform to promote businesses and things like that. But that's ultimately what I want to do with it. But it's really, I want to keep it very central to who I am and me. And so I want to grow. So whatever that means, I'm starting to do a little bit more videos. Even like we talked about just before we recorded, I went live with this as well. and was able to touch, I mean, a whole, like, there's people I never even like thought I would reach.
Right.
It's by me running my mouth, you know. But I definitely, I'm thinking about it from a military standpoint as well. I plan on doing my 20 years. I got like 9 left.
Oh yeah.
And it's, you know, I call it my exit strategy as well.
That's right. That's
yeah.
right. You're more than halfway there.
That's it, man. My wife, she's, you know, she's very linear, and so she's in school to be a doctor right now for physical therapy.
Right.
And I don't think that way. I'm more of the creative. I'm more
right.
Of every way else but a straight line.
That's
and
right.
So I told her, I said, I'm gonna meet you at the top, baby. I see.
That's right.
I'm holding it down now, and you know, for us. And then I say we're gonna switch.
Yes.
You know, it's like, you know, so that's how we doing it.
Yeah.
Just trying to stay on the straight and narrow on that part.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and the fact that y'all are a team, and I also want to say thank you for your service, bro.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Keeping us safe. You know, you're keeping that border, and I know you got a tough task with you with what's going on with all the drama going on. But I thank you for everybody in the U.S.
We appreciate you too, man. Thanks for your service as well.
Oh yeah. You know, anything I can do, and I'm so happy to have you on here, man. And I know we talked about, you know, the bright future of you speaking, you know, me speaking for over 15 years now, and building this motivational platform and seeing young people like yourself coming through. I'm just so proud to see it, because you know, you're the legacy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the plan.
It's real. It's real. I see us possibly doing some things in the future, maybe even being on stages together if they open them back up.
First, hey, I'm down for that any day. And that's funny that you say that. And to kind of get into the calling piece, when I was growing up, I prayed a lot and I cried a lot. And not to get too deep or nothing, but this is the story, right?
Hey, man, I want to hear it.
Hey, so like I said, when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to be, kind of have my voice, through that, people are inviting me to MC different events. I'm always the guy with the mic at church. I'm always the guy they put in the front to, you know, just always, every time I need somebody to talk. Yeah. I never thought that was a thing. Kind of was saying before, like I never thought that was like could be a career path or whatever. Yeah. And so this whole time I'm like praying, like, okay, God, where you need me to be? Because I'm doing all this other stuff. I mean, I'm working at call centers. Yeah. You know, I'm going door to door selling stuff. I was selling AT&T like it was crack. Like, I'm for real. They trained us, right?
Yeah,
the human expression is real, like reading body language.
Yes.
But I'm just thinking that's just something I got. It's, you know, but that's what God gave me.
It's a natural gift.
Right. And so when I'm talking to people about their purpose, usually it's right in front of their face.
Yes.
Usually it's something that they've already had a knack for, that they don't believe that they can do, or they don't have, have a little anxiety about kind of moving to the next step.
Yes.
I was just like, you just got to do it.
You got to do it.
Yeah.
You know, fear stops a lot of things and a lot of greatness. I was having a discussion with people earlier, and I said, you know, it's a true statement when they say most of the best inventions and best things, they never get born because they're in the cemetery.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's true, you know? I mean, think about how many people are afraid and they'll let the fear stop them.
Well, it's crippling. And that's kind of what I was talking about before. You know, we're talking about the suffering process that God puts you through. It's just about being a Christian. So how I came back to Christ, because I grew up in the church, but I had to find it for myself. So I always say I came back, you know. Yeah. I figured it out for myself. I looked at it like, okay, well, all I know is when I tithe, I got way more money in my account for the long, you know, but when I don't, where my money go? And so I kind of started from there, and it just makes sense. So when you're talking about, you know, that's a whole other piece as far as like suffering, you know, on your pilgrimage with your relationship with God. But if you equate that to a business, you equate that, you know, to a test. Right. Just anything from small to big, there's always a suffering process and a pruning that you have to allow yourself to go through. Yeah, definitely. And, a lot of rappers talk about that, and I think that's very beneficial for people to hear. Like, you know, that started from the bottom, whole, you know. Theory. Now I'm here, right? The whole team. They right, and they see the glamour and the shine. They don't, you know, they wasn't with Kobe shooting in the gym, right? but we hear it all the time. I'm saying a lot
Yes.
of stuff that people hear all the time, but when you get in it, they expect it to be like a week.
Yeah.
Like a day.
Instant gratification.
Oh man. And that's something, even being like a younger person, that I having to constantly remind myself that, hey, this the grind season. I tell my wife all the time, we in grinding right now, building up nest eggs, you know, like we talk to create generational wealth, because, you know, my dad, he didn't know his dad growing up. And something that he instilled in me and my brother, especially the man, you a coach, man, you know, you even when I was younger, you know, I had little self-esteem issues like 3rd, 4th grade.
Right.
He set me down. He was like, hey, you a prince. I'm the king.
That's
you
right.
A prince, right?
That's right.
And it seems trivial, you know, when you speaking to somebody else, it's like, no, you have to speak life into yourself.
That's right.
In that dry season.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And so, but that's what happens when you, well, let me back up. That's the part of having your circle.
Yes.
So, like I said, we did start doing stuff. We're constantly encouraging each other. Yeah, it's been a hard day, but yeah, we got this cool. You know, it's always having that reinforcement.
Yes. We got it.
Yeah, but that's the part. And it's already long just talking about it, because in that circle, now you got to prune your circle.
That's right. That's right.
And so
that's right.
So and you go down this rabbit hole. You're like, dang, I gotta do all this stuff to be great.
Right.
To be great, not to be good, but to be great.
That's why everybody's not in greatness. They don't walk in greatness, right?
Mm-hmm. It's the steps that it takes to do that. You know, it's a whole concept.
Exactly.
A whole soldier concept. So you might be bad at running or something.
Right.
Let's look at the whole soldier concept. Is he on time? You know, is he
yes.
the right uniform? And so
yes.
I think if you apply that to, you know, like a civilian life or regular life, it starts to become easier.
I agree.
Yeah, for sure.
And living it myself, I can attest to everything you're saying. Mm-hmm. Anything worth having is worth fighting for. And if it's worth fighting for, then guess what? You're going to go through some trials and tribulations. You don't have a testimony without a test.
Right. And I was saying that too. I don't want a leader. I don't want a mentor, a preacher that ain't never been through nothing.
Yes.
I don't want a perfect person.
No.
You know,
you got to be able to relate.
Have some grit.
Yeah, you got to be able to relate to me. Tell me something, man. I'm really going through this.
Something, man.
I'm really going through this.
Because you don't really feel me, though. You don't really feel.
Exactly. Are you feeling me, or are you just hearing my words?
You just saying stuff. Like, you don't feel like you've been through enough to give me advice.
Right, right. I mean, were those shoes hot when you were walking on those coals, or were you on the bridge and looking at the coal?
You know, and you can tell. I mean, toddlers can tell somebody is real.
Yes.
Like you said, we kind of clicked, you know, up front.
Yeah.
It's just I always say it's a vibe, right?
It's a vibe.
It's a vibe. It's a feeling. Some people call it discernment. Some people call it whatever, you know. But you know, people know when they, you know, it's like you going to Best Buy. You know when you getting gypped.
Yeah. Yeah.
I treat you gonna tell me it's the only deal you got. Come on now.
Right? You know, oh, this is the last one.
Yeah. And that's another thing. People pick and choose when they want to, you know, feel like that. So like they might give the car salesman a hard time when it comes to their relationships. Now I'm blind. Now I don't see the red flags.
Right. I don't see none of that.
No, they pick and choose.
That's right. Well, Jay, we're gonna take a moment for a station identification, and we'll be right back. I'll be right back, guys, with No Tack Talk. Big man Jay. Be right back.
If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
All right, well, we're back on the Cherokee Edwards Inspired Show with Jay. And Jay, tell me something. I know what we talk about, our candidness, and you work with young people too, just like I do. You work with the youth.
Yes, sir.
Tell us a little bit about your approach, and there are young people that listen to us, so let's talk about the approaches.
What? Give me an age group, because I mean,
let's use let's make it easy. Let's use 16 to 21.
Oh, easy, perfect. That's my niche.
Easy.
Well, especially so. Okay, with the youth, I kind of just see what type of personality type they are. And there's a science to it. I figured out. You know, a lot of people think kids are easy.
Right.
You know, younger kids are easy. I think they're very complex.
Yes.
Especially, I mean, even between me and you, what you went through as a 20-year-old, young man versus what I went through is completely different.
Completely different.
And so it's all about understanding what they're going through.
Yeah.
And so, I'm kind of a kid myself. I got a Flash t-shirt on right now. So it helps a little bit. I always want to be a kid at heart,
I love it.
And so that usually helps. I even got the little superhero tattoos. I'm all about it.
I see you.
Got Jesus on the elbow, So that helps. But I just listen because their parents, their parents tell them what to do all the time. The teachers tell them what to do all the time. And so, especially from a third party, that's when people usually learn the most.
Right.
I could say the same thing Dad's saying, but it sounds different when Jay
said
it. Especially with my young men, and I talk to the leaders over the different organizations. I say, hey, what are my left and right limits? You probably know what that is. What can I do? What I cannot talk about.
That's right.
And so they let me know, and I say, okay, cool, let's talk. And so once I know the personality, the extroverted, the introverted, I say, okay, cool. How do you feel about that? Or I give them a lot of my examples, a lot of my stuff that I've been through. A lot of times this is about sex.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And so I mean, I one story that I always remember that I kind of got in trouble about one time, but I thought it was a real conversation. It was 11th, 12th grade boys,
They know
a
little something.
Yeah, I said, hey, I mean, I don't know what y'all doing. It ain't my business.
Right.
I'm gonna tell you what I've been through, and if I could do it again, what I would, do in that situation. I've had a girl, talk about me from left, all types of bad words, craziness, because I was actually in her bed, and I ran. Now that didn't happen every time,
right?
But as I was
this one particular time,
and legit, right? I said you right. I said you can still run. And this is in the church. Okay, right. You can still run at the very last second, because what happens is, all right, you sitting on the couch watching TV. She send you a text message. Okay, now we starting to text. Then you find out her mama not home. Now you're in the car. So each step of the way, you have a decision to say no. But I said,
right.
Even you get in the door, the vibe is good, whatever. I said, I was ready right there.
Yeah,
condom on.
Right, you ready to rock? You ready to rock?
For real. And I said, I got convicted. And I said, again, it's not. I would have to give a caveat, because I never tried to come off like I'm just this perfect guy, or
right.
I just no, like hey, I lived my life too and made my mistakes.
Gotta be raw, baby.
But I said in that situation, I was like, man, it's never too late. Mm-mm. Because a lot of times in sin and bad decisions with kids, everything is a big deal.
Right.
Oh my God, if I do this or if I don't do that, and the girl break up with me and my whole life is just over. No, it's not. And we
right.
see it.
Yeah.
Right. But I take the pressure off. I say, hey, the people that you don't listen to, or even the leadership that you might have, your coach, whatever, it takes that moment of just understanding. Right. And on the podcast you said you listen to, it don't matter when there's an age gap or position, leadership gap, whatever. It takes a listening from both parties, because yes. you never know everything.
That's right.
You could come in, just like you speak. Somebody, you can still learn something. As big as your career is right now, anybody, president, whatever.
Definitely.
You always should walk into a room feeling like you could learn something. And I think that people naturally can tell, if I'm just trying to come down on you, or am I just genuinely having a conversation?
Right.
And so I try to take it from there. I break down the walls. I talk a lot about myself, because I don't mind, I think that's part of any great story, is just being able to be transparent.
Gotta be transparent.
How can I tell you something to give you advice if you ain't know, like we just said, if you ain't know, if I ain't been through nothing.
Exactly.
And that's kind of like where I'm at with them, and it tends to work out a little bit better. And so, and I tell them too, we were doing these Zoom meetings with some of youth as well. And I was like, I would just kind of like, hey man, I got a question. I would legit have like a regular problem throughout the day, but I give them an opportunity to help me out too.
Yeah.
What's your perspective? Because they think, hey, Jay think no, I don't know everything. Like I'm struggling. I let them know I'm struggling too today with whatever.
Right. We gotta lift each other up. Each other, we're each other's crutches at times.
Mm-hmm. And so in that, you know, it starts to build rapport and trust, and it's just they understand. Okay, cool. He's an ally, or you know, Jay got my back.
Yes.
You know, and
That's
and
real.
then I tell them I've had parents text me, let me know I'm sorry, it's confidentiality.
That's right.
It's like, you know, and
like
and
a doctor,
that,
baby.
I'm telling you, that is one thing that will cement a relationship forever, because they know the parent might be the helicopter parent or whatever, you know, whatever they call it. And I say it's nothing crazy, you know,
Right.
but it's just I want to make sure that they have somebody to go to.
Yeah.
They feel like they can run to you know.
And like you said, you can relate to. And by telling your stories, you're relatable.
Mm-hmm. And so and of course it's my example. My example throughout my on social media, the way they see me walk, the way they see me talk, you know, it's always an appeal. I always like to kick back, you know, I might, you know, be playing rap music or whatever it is. I say, you know, you can listen to trap music and still love Jesus. It's okay.
Oh yeah.
It's
okay. Hey.
So I think where we are now is the divide. Is people so uptight, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
People are just tend to be so uptight. And it took from my tip as well, it took a little bit of pruning for me to not be so much, you know. Right. But I feel like I'm in my sweet spot, you know.
Right.
A lot of praying, a lot of staying humble. I feel like I'm in my sweet spot of just, you know, being sincere, and but also just not being a follower, because God made me to go against the grain.
Yeah.
And in that's where the, you know, the sincere candidness comes from. So
right.
That's why I try to just be right in that little sweet spot, you know.
That's where that tech talk comes from.
Yeah.
No tack. We don't need
no
it.
Tack.
We don't want it. We want the rawness, Jay. We want the raw.
And let me tell you, people say they want it until they get it.
Till they get it. Oh, be careful what you ask for.
Listen. People say they want the real. I want you to just and they don't really want it for real.
No.
And I wanted to say too, it's a journey that's a skill. That's a life skill. Mm-hmm. To really not care what people think.
Yeah.
We're talking about from like a self-esteem internal issue, because you got the clothes. I'm not saying don't take a shower or nothing. You know?
Right.
I'm saying
the norm.
To really not care and to do you
is
a skill, because people say that all the time. I don't care what you think. I'm gonna do me.
And you really know they do.
Oh, they care.
You know they care.
You know, and I mean, I got stories like, man, like I'll go in different situations and people, what's the word? Stymie. They try to, you know, they try to, you know, just put me in a box, and I hate that.
Yeah.
And, you know, it goes against everything. I try to like chill out sometimes, but I just feel this yearning, you know.
Yeah, they're trying to suppress your energy.
Mm-hmm. And so at first I'm thinking, well, maybe I'm out of pocket. And that's a lot with your calling as well. People like, well, maybe I'm out of pocket. Maybe I'm wrong. And I said, you know, about 2 or 3 years, I'm like, it can't be my fault every time. You know, it just can't.
No.
And so in that, man, it's just reminding people that God made them a certain type of way on purpose, and just leaning into that.
Right.
That's probably the biggest thing I can tell somebody. Yeah, lean into your calling, because it's right there. You just gotta grab it and run with it.
Great advice. Let me ask you, what's the oldest crowd that you've spoken with before?
Probably no more than 30. Probably my peers. So I'm 28, so no more than 30. I do have certain people that are older and feed each other, but as far as me speaking to people, like as far as like me giving like legitimate, because I've spoken like at churches, like to, you know, to a majority of ages, but as far as like me being
a focus group, like,
definitely just my peers for sure. Because that's the other thing. I guess it depends on what you're talking about, you know. I get a lot of kickback. I call them old heads, you know. They think they know everything.
Oh yeah,
and that's cool.
They're hard to work with, man.
I try to soak it up. They are, but I try to soak it up too. I never think I know too much or want to know too much. I say, hey, I'm here to listen, but you need to listen as well. We're here to help each other, you know. Especially Black men. Like I love the group that I'm in church now too. It's called Brotherhood, and I've never seen a more sincere group of men. I mean, very open, and it's hard for men to be sincere. Even this right here is rare. To be able to talk like that, because we all got our pride in a way.
Oh yeah.
And so I love having conversations, you know, with people to my senior, whatever you want to call it, but because it's great, you know, we're just vibing, you know, off each other, we're both learning. So I always I was looking forward to just speaking my truth in any situation.
And that's a great way to be, man. That's a fabulous way to be. What advice would you give to budding entrepreneurs like yourself that's coming behind you? What would you say to them?
Man. Okay, of course there's it's to lean into, have a prayer life 100%. Because a lot of people tend to be alone when they just start, and get the chip off your shoulder is another one, because you expect your friends to be your first sale, but sometimes they won't.
That's right.
You expect your family to support you, but sometimes they're not gonna listen to the No Tack Talk podcast. Some of the best friends I've made have been people I just met.
Right.
And I got friends that I grew up with that I don't even talk to anymore.
Yeah.
And so in the entrepreneurship, or just even building anything that's
right.
yours, that's your baby.
Yeah.
You got to be alone, and it's gonna come. Just
Yeah.
like talking to about relationships. Do you first. The girl, your Boaz, whatever, he or she gonna come.
They gonna come. Be ready.
It's just something about working in your own purpose, your own calling, to where you don't worry about that, and it all tends to align in the end.
I agree.
And so just be ready to be, so just lean into yourself, and anything else is icing. So even if the friend does buy that first shirt, it's icing on the cake. It ain't the
That's
cake.
right.
You the cake.
That's right. That's right. You're right.
For sure.
Because that's just one step ahead. But like you said, you stay ready. You don't have to get ready.
That's it.
And that proving ground is when you sell people that's not your family and not your friends.
That's it. And a lot of the people I've been hearing back from recently. I mean, like I said, I haven't talked to in a while. Complete strangers. Got an email from a dude from what was it, like Uruguay or something.
Oh wow!
Got an email like 3 in the morning, and I didn't. Cause you see the stats and everything, but I'm just like whatever. But he's like, yeah, I just appreciate you and keep doing what you're doing. Gave him like $1 or something, But I was like, what's up?
Yeah.
And but people try to water down their voice.
Right.
A lot. They always try to do it like they can't make a difference. And especially with all the racism and stuff that's been going on, we owe it to our circles, our spheres, people at work, our families, our inner circle, to just be the change. Yeah, that's what they always say: be the change you want to see. But what you see every day is that change, and it's understanding that.
Right.
And so, and then that conversation with that coworker. Now y'all children are gonna talk one day. But, you know what I'm saying? It's generational. It's not just about you.
That's right. That's right.
And so that's what I've been trying to just think. I always say kingdom minded and just focused on the next generation, even while I'm this young, because I think you look ahead, your present becomes a lot better.
That's amazing, man. And it's amazing because I was about your age when I actually broke into being a more powerful speaker, a little more polished. Yeah, I was about 28. I lost my mom when I was 28. So that was, I think sometimes you have to have a little bit of pain in order to bring that greatness out of you. Mm-hmm. Right? Like we talked about it earlier. So let me know, what happened to you, or just give us a story, something that propelled you, that make you say, that's it. Because I know you and I talk about God a lot. What propelled you to make you say, I don't care how hard this is, how rough this is where I'm going?
Man, I just got tired. Like I said, I just got tired of feeling like I was the wrong person in conversations and in different events and arenas that I was in. And like I said, I couldn't be. I can't, in a way. I'm statistically, I'm not this wrong this much, And I just had a moment. I said, I don't care. What I had to just believe it. I said it, and I was in it, but then I revert back, right?
Yeah.
But that aha moment for me was, I don't really think that it's just a 1-day process. It takes a minute for it to sink in. Like they always say, 21 days, to develop a habit of break one, right? It took a lot of me just, I'm real big on sticky notes.
Yes,
me too. Out? Uh-oh.
Can you hear me?
Okay, I think we're back. Yeah, we're back now.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good on sticky notes, and say, so I put scriptures on my mirror or on my steering wheel or my wallet, just feeding myself. I say, if you want to learn a language, you got to immerse yourself in that culture, right?
I agree.
It's just like being dropped off in Mexico trying to learn Spanish. And so I had to create that environment for myself to
Right.
just it does unapologetically have no tact. And
Yes.
because that's who I am. And, of course, like I say, people always think you just want to be rude to folks. No,
No. You
I
just
just
want to be
think
real.
I just think we need a little bit more, I call them neat conversations. They say give me a Jack Neat. Right? I don't want no chaser, right? I said just a lot of more neat conversations.
That's right. Straight
because we need them. Because what happens? You're in a group environment and you have a toxic leader. And he's going, and you just day by day, everybody like they got separate group messages. You go to lunch, man, I hate Rick. He's a terrible person. Da, 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 da. But one day you have, and it's always the newest person. I always tell people when you have any type of organization and you coming in trying to fix it, always ask the newest person, right?
Right.
Because they're the freshest view of this whole thing. They're usually not clicked up. They're usually not, kissing up to the boss.
That's right.
None of that, right?
That's right.
And so in doing that, I said, it's that one person that decides to go against the grain at one time. But all it takes is that spark. And now everybody got something to say.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well, this year at the Christmas party, you didn't, blah, 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 blah. All this stuff is coming out,
That's facts.
And so I don't like to be that person, but I tend to be that person.
Right.
Because it's going against who I am. So in that, it's finding comfort in who I am. But even in that, it's still like, okay, cool. I'm coming in love. I have a lot of grace for the situation. I have a lot of empathy for said person. And it's just, it's how you approach it. So if any tact, and if there's any tact involved, it's having tact to have no tact.
That's right.
Yeah. So
that's right.
That's where that comes from for sure.
All right. Well, you know what, man? This was amazing.
Yeah.
Awesome. I thank you so much for coming on. And I look forward to talking with you again.
Yes.
Yes. And
I'm excited.
Jay Coates, y'all, for No Tack Talk.
Yes,
Get at them. And tell our listeners how they can follow you and how they can reach you.
Two biggest ways, notactalk.com. I know it's a tongue twister, but I'm sticking with it, right? No Tack Talk. Then No Tack Talk at Instagram. And what I'm doing as well, it doesn't even have to be like a promotional piece, but I always just kind of put out the flyer as far as like, if you just kind of got any questions about God, or you might want to have like a third party for your youth or anything like that, hey, just send me emails, phone call, whatever.
Right.
I think it's always beneficial just kind of have like a third ear, especially for the parents, have somebody to talk to the kids. But that's where you can reach me at, and find me anywhere in all the podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, Apple, all that good stuff.
All right, man. Well, you know what, bro? I appreciate you, man. One love.
Yes,
Thanks
sir.
again for coming on here. You my man.
Hey, we good, man. You all right with me, for sure.
We all day, man. All day, twice on Sunday.
That's it.
Keep doing what you're doing, bro, and we'll be talking soon.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
All right, man. God bless it.
And
y'all,
peace.
Check my man out, okay? Check my man out. He's doing big things. No Tack Talk. Let's get the realness. We need the real. All right, man. I'll be out, Jay. We talk soon.